Hey everyone, I was just flicking through some charts and I thought I'd make a quick video because something's just come up and caught my eye. Um, if you watched my video from earlier, I was trying to explain the quads don't make something, the quads aren't static, it's constantly moving, just like everything is. So something was referenced on the arena this morning regarding a checklist. And I understand that. And I'm trying to understand that I'm coming through this after 3 years. And yes, like during the first year, I was pulling my hair out because I've made reference to it a lot that these quads and this map, it looks like a plan. So everything should, so you, at least I did coming into it, you think, oh, yeah, like this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens. That's that's just the base case. That's what's happened in the past. Okay, and that's what I explain with this expected value is there's a positive component and a negative component, and that's constantly in flux and constantly changing. Okay, so this is where I people don't like it when I say on the arena as well, it's never just one number, but I actually really mean that in so much that I'm making videos showing you how even one number on a chart, like implied volatility premium, is made up of two numbers, and those two numbers move independently and give you a final number, implied volatility, either premium or discount. So, okay, you have to make decisions based on what you have in front of you, and you can only do that by looking and watching. Okay, so these are some of the charts that I've been sharing recently, and it shows here for those that don't know. So this, instead of me looking at the price, I very rarely look at the price. If someone was to say, "Oh, what's Apple trading?" I don't trade US stocks, but if someone was to say, "What's SPY ETF trading at?" I'd have no idea, but I could probably tell you where it is on this chart. Okay. So this is the chart of the price distance from the 1 month high. Okay. So currently the momentum ETF is down minus 2.29% from its recent 1 month high. Okay. Whatever that price is, that price, I don't care what that price is. I just want to know where it is in relation to that price. Okay. And that's what this chart shows. So let's go back to the 1st of December. Okay. Now I know this is looking backwards and I can cherry pick everything that I want, but just hear me out. Okay. When I normally post these charts, I put lines on here, but you can see here that in general, momentum has pulled back somewhere between 4 and 5% from the 1 month highs, and then it's retraced. Okay. But it didn't here. This for me is it breaking trend. Now regardless of whether Keith uses a different variation or whatever, this is my variation of it. When it exceeded that 5%, that was my time, right? I'm not adding to this, or I'm stopping myself out, okay? Because there's a chance if you just look back, now this is only going back to May, there's a chance it could go minus 9% from the last 1 month high. So I closed it out. If I'd have had it, that would have been my decision point right there. Couple that with the fact that volatility had gone up and stayed high. Okay, that's another one. Okay, so that's one. So now we have a decision to make here now. Why? Because it's currently failing to make a new 1 month high. Okay, so there's that. But if we look at past performance in quad one, okay, it has an expected return of 5.5%, and it's 100% return, 100% percentage positive, meaning every quad one that the momentum ETF has been active, it's been positive. So there's that, okay. But the one thing we do know about momentum is momentum is constantly changing because the stocks that currently have momentum are shifting, okay? So I'm not saying we can't trust it, but the stocks that were in the ETF were very different in the last quad ones to what they are today. So I have a look at that and I'm like, right, okay, it's failing to make a 1 month high. Let's have a look. So this is the momentum ETF. So I use this one. It's easy for me. I quite like the layout. But you can go on anywhere. You can go on the iShares website yourself or whatever, but I just quite like this one. But I always do this, no matter what it is. If something's doing something different, I look at what is in the ETF. I look at what names are in it, okay? So currently the top, forget tech, which is having a bit of a bad day today. Financials, right? Now, if we look at the financials ETF, okay, if we look at financials, they're currently making a 1 month high, okay? I think on this one, which I can't add in the other one, I can add 3 months. Yeah. Okay, so it's just also made a 3 month high as well. Now what do we know? Okay, so we know that the macro theme, so it's the 5th of January today, okay? We know that Keith is now giving, I think it started about 15 minutes ago, Keith's giving the macro themes presentation for Q1. He made reference earlier today on the macro show about what would you do with XLE or what would you do with oil, and he said short it today. So what does that imply? That implies that he's carrying on with the inflation slowing. So now what impacts will that have? Well, that means the yield curve, although it has been steepening over the last couple of days, if you're short in oil, if you're short in energy, which he hasn't up till now, then that implies that at the very least the curve flattening, okay? So what are financials going to do? Well, financials aren't really going to like that because the yield curve compresses banks' margins, okay? So there's one thing, and so the top of the list, 32% of momentum is financials now. Technology, but that's having a bad day today. Have a look, what's in here? Right, okay, now let's look at the individual names. Let's look at the biggest names. Okay, so Microsoft is currently at this kind of decision point where I know Keith made a tweet, and this is, you notice that I'm pulling different things. I'm pulling macro themes, I'm pulling the macro show, I'm pulling the call, tweets from earlier yesterday, I think. You know, Keith made a tweet, like I'd be adding Microsoft in my PA. Okay, you need to, all of these things go into making a decision. Okay, you notice how I keep referencing lots of other different things, not just real-time alerts or not just ETF Pro, all the things. And the things that are much more immediate, like a tweet is much more immediate than ETF Pro that is only updated every month, okay? So what else? Tesla. Okay, the same kind of position. And NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA doesn't look great. And that's, you know, that's nearly 5% of the momentum ETF. Now, let's talk about decisions. Let's go back to, would I be short in momentum? Personally, no. Why? If you did watch my video earlier on when I talked about the expected returns and the percentage positives, even the worst sector in quad one, which is XLU, is still positive 65% of the time. Okay, that would be the equivalent, you know, like on this chart, percentage positive. Even the worst sector, XLU, is positive 65% of the time. The best, I think, was XLY, which was 88% of the time, okay? Keith's talked about this a lot. The best asset class in quad one are stocks. So would I be short in momentum? No. But would I be buying momentum? Also no. And why? Well, because of all the other things that I've made reference to. Then I've had a look here. You know, some of these things, cyclicals, financials, aren't good in quad one. Some of the big names don't look great. And the volatility is now down, and it still hasn't made a 1 month high. So, like, that's just me. Hopefully that's of some help, and it's probably a bit too long and people won't really listen to a video this long. But at least I just wanted to show you the decision process, because I've been posting these charts, and it's generally been things that have been going up. So I just wanted to post something to show a decision process of something that's not going up. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let me know, comment, tweet, whatever you want to do. Just if I've made a glaring mistake, then please let me know. If it's helpful, then let me know as well. Cheers. Bye.